I've heard it said before that perfectionism is doing the thing right, but excellence is doing the right thing. So rather than be worrying about doing everything perfectly and making ourselves look good in front of someone else, living a life of excellence is about focusing on the right things to do and doing them to the best of our abilities. Hi everyone, Chris Natzke here with Black Belt Leadership Speaking and Coaching with your Mind of a Champion tip of the week. You know, for the past 2.5 decades, every martial art class that I've taught has always ended with one question to my students. What's our goal? And in unison, they'll reply, Black Belt Excellence, sir. And that affirmation is meant for them to have the last thing that they have present in their mind when they leave the training floor is that their life is about living in excellence, doing the very best they can do in every aspect of their life. Not only martial arts, but in school and in business and in their relationships and in their health and wellness. And again, knowing that it's not about perfection, knowing that we're not ever going to make mistakes, but it's about this striving for an excellent mindset and an excellent way of showing up. You know, I have to admit, for most of my life, I was focused on being perfect. Being the perfect athlete, the perfect student, the perfect son, the perfect husband, the perfect business owner, the perfect martial artist. And while some of that really brought me success, at the end of the day, it didn't really provide me with the happiness that I wanted to. Because many times what I would do is I would build expectations that were far exceeding what were even realistic for me to attain. So I would constantly set myself up for disappointment. But turning the tables and making sure that we're looking at life from a perspective of striving and a pursuit of excellence puts a whole different spin on things. And it's interesting how as we get older, sometimes the words of our parents even have greater meaning than when we were growing up. Probably about 10, 12 years ago when I first started my professional speaking career, I was on the phone with my mom. And I was venting to her at this time about how difficult it was for me to find quality paid speaking engagements. Yes, even Mr. Positive sometimes has to complain. So I was doing this with my mom. I was crying, oh my gosh, this isn't working out. That's not working out. And to her credit, she let me listen. And then she said to me something that still stuck with me to this day. She said, so you want to be one of those motivational speakers, huh? I said, well, yes. She goes, well, do you think anybody's going to want to listen to you if you've never had a challenge in your life and you've never had difficulties and you've never failed and you need to overcome that? Whoa, that's my mom. You know, what wisdom. But she was so spot on. She was so right. And so again, it wasn't about having the perfect career and having everything lay out for me. It was about having the difficulties, still striving for the excellence, but knowing that when I had difficulties and I did have failures, it literally made me more relatable to the people that I was trying to touch. So how can we focus on living a life or building a business or building relationships that are based on a pursuit of excellence versus perfection? Well, number one is you strive for the best, but you enjoy the process along the way. And don't just focus on the end result, but really fall in love with the process of what you're doing. And knowing that you're going to have those bumps in the road and that you still want to have good results, but slow down and enjoy the process. I mean, for me, sometimes as soon as I'd achieve something, I'd be right on to the next thing. So what about enjoying the process along the way? Number two is accept the shortcomings that you had and look at them rather than disappointments and defeats. What if they were actually lessons learned that encourage your growth and expansion? We're never going to hit 1,000%. Heck, in Major League Baseball, if you hit 1 out of 3 pitches, you're at times at bat, you get to hit 1 out of 3 times at bat, you're a multimillionaire. So know that that's going to be part of the process, and know that when those shortcomings happen, take some time. You'll oftentimes people say that they learn much more from their disappointments or their failures than they do from their successes. So use those as stepping stones on your road to excellence. And then finally, make sure that you do take time to celebrate. I mentioned that a little bit before. My pattern used to be, hey, I have an achievement, I hit a goal, and I'm right on to the next one, and I wasn't taking time to reflect and celebrate. And when you do that, you realize that not only the lessons that you learned, but the path that you went about, it was absolutely perfect for where you were in your life and what you needed to learn. So, are you up for it? Are you up for looking and pursuing excellence in your life versus perfection? And are you willing to have a little fun along the way? You might just find out how excellent you are just when you're having fun. So, this has been Chris NATZKE with Black Belt Leadership Speaking and Coaching. Thanks so much for joining me, and have an excellent day, and I look forward to seeing you next time on the Mind of a Champion Tip of the Week.